Hi, I'm Justin Leyte, and I'm going to unravel the OCT disciplinary process. I'll be using the Billy and Mr. Cole case study that we examined in class as an example to help me illustrate this process. So when a complaint is made against a member of the Ontario College of Teachers, an investigation committee is tasked with investigating these allegations. If the complaint involves issues of professional misconduct, incompetence, or incapacity, then the investigation committee is going to begin its investigation process. In the case study, Mr. Cole was accused of professional misconduct in violation of the OCT Act, Education Act, and the Safe Schools Act. Mr. Cole violated the OCT standards of professional practice by speaking in an unprofessional manner to Billy, calling him useless, telling him he's not going to go anywhere or be successful, and failing to provide care and supervision for the student, seen by the student being able to leave school property and thereby getting injured. At this point, Billy's parents could file a formal complaint in writing against Mr. Cole, accusing him of professional misconduct. They would detail the events in full that transpired. It would have to be in writing, and then they could submit these allegations. They could submit this formal complaint on the OCT website. The investigation committee would then confirm these allegations against the member through discussions. They would discuss it with the complainant, in this case Billy's parents, make sure that they understand everything correctly. They'd collect evidence. There might be some documentation, there might be surveillance, etc. And then they might question witnesses, the principal, or anybody else that they might have seen the situation. At this point, when the investigation committee feels that they have a solid enough understanding of what's going on, then they're going to move to the next step. So the next step might be that they issue a warning or they issue caution to the member. They might refer the member to a hearing if they feel that it needs to go to that next step. Or they could dismiss the complaint if they do find that there's a lack of sufficient evidence. In this case, I believe that they would find that Mr. Cole acted very unprofessionally and would likely refer Mr. Cole to a hearing. If the investigation committee believes that the member demonstrated professional misconduct or incompetence in the case of Mr. Cole, then they would refer him to the disciplinary committee for a hearing. If instead the member is accused of incapacity, in other words, a failure to be able to do their job, then they'll be referred to the fitness to practice committee. At this point, a notice of hearing will be served to the member. The notice of hearing will include the date, the time of the hearing, as well as a summary of the allegations against them. This notice of hearing is available for public viewing on OCT.ca, so anybody's able to go on and look at that. At this point, the member is encouraged by OCT to seek independent legal counsel at their own expense, and a union representative will be assigned by their federation to support the member. At this hearing, the incident will be presented to the panel, which will be comprised of 3 people hearing the scenario for the first time, which is important to help maintain neutrality. So a member of the investigation committee, for example, could not be a member of this committee because they've heard it before. It will be the responsibility of that committee to determine guilt of the member and impose penalties upon them. So they're going to listen to the scenario for the very first time. They're going to consider the evidence. They might hear testimony from the accused or the accused legal counsel. And at that point, then they will decide guilt. And if they're found guilty, then they will impose a penalty. The type of penalty that could happen would of course depend on the level of the severity of the incident. So they could be fined up to $5,000 or reprimanded in some other way. Their ability to teach could be subjected to conditions, such as taking a class on professionalism or on boundaries or something like that. Of course, they would have to pay for that at their own expense. Or if it's super severe, such as sexual assault or physical assault, then they will have their license likely completely revoked, depending on the severity. If it's not too severe, it'll be up to 24 months suspension, but it's up to the governing body, the OCT, to decide how severe the situation was. Regardless of what happens, the results are published in Professionally Speaking, which is the magazine published by the Ontario College of Teachers. The hearing as well, by the disciplinary committee, is open to the public to view. However, the hearing by the Fitness to Practice Committee is not available to the public. Overall, I believe that OCT is a very important organization. Its ability to govern teachers is super crucial to the profession, as well as to the well-being of all of our students. Being responsible and accountable to this organization to maintain a level of professionalism is ultimately what's going to keep our students safe as well as taken care of. It is unfortunate that we have to have this governing body to make sure that we are doing what is supposed to be done. However, proven by the fact that we have the blue pages, and unfortunately things like this happen, fairly frequently, I think it's important to make sure that only the best teachers are teaching our kids, and I think that's why it is important to have the OCT, its standards of practice, and its disciplinary process as well. Thank you.